Hi, my name is Ellen, and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'll be leading a guided somatic tracking meditation called Facing Your Fears. Is fear the driver of our pain? Well, several studies have shown that with the presence of fear, like being shown a scary photo of a clown while being touched, it can actually increase the perception of pain. And it makes sense because when we're feeling fear, it activates that fight or flight state. And the brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, actually preparing us for an attack. So while we all know we can't stop fearful thoughts, what we can do is we can identify them and meet them in a gentle way so that we're not running away or getting freaked out by them. Instead, we can sit with them and the physical sensations of fear in the body and face our fears with bravery, curiosity, and compassion. So let's get started. Inviting in a sense of curiosity and awareness of your body and the surroundings at this moment. And as you explore this space, noting this quality of care you're providing for yourself. As always, you can do this practice with your eyes open or with your eyes closed, whatever feels right for you. So finding position where you can be still and quiet for this time, whether that's sitting or lying down. And we'll begin by bringing our awareness to our breath. And we'll just let it go as it is, not needing to change the rhythm or the pattern. Just breathing in and out, resting your awareness on the physical sensations of your breath. So what it feels like as it enters your nose, as it enters your lungs and belly, and as it leaves, contracting your belly, deflating your lungs, and billowing out your nose. So taking a moment to sense into these physical sensations of breath. These sensations can ground you here in the present moment. So when you find your mind drifting to the past, to memories, or floating to the future, maybe into planning or expecting, you can come back to your home base here with the breath movement beginning again and again. So start to soften your face, releasing any tension in your jaw, loosening your neck and unwinding your shoulders. We'll breathe in a real relaxing breath. And on the exhale, we'll just let go of any noticeable tension in the body, grounding ourselves here to the surface below you, allowing it to hold you and support you and keep you safe for this time. So our somatic tracking practice today is working with fears. And fears come in levels of intensity. There may be core fears, like fear of judgment, fear of rejection, and there are loads of childhood fears. But today we'll be working with less intense fears, like maybe the fear of germs, or crowds, or exercise. Something related to your illness that you may have been noticing becoming an issue in your life. It is to these fears and the accompanying physical sensations that we'll be working with today. So continuing to breathe in and out, allowing the breath to be noticeable somewhere in the background. And just gently and slowly begin to rest your attention on that fear that you'll be meeting today. And just bringing it to mind, maybe imagining yourself in that scenario, what you're doing in this fear, or what it is that you're afraid of. Just beginning to notice also the sensations that are arising in your body as you think about that fear. As we know, mind-body means that what we think or say or fear is also felt in the body. Like when we get embarrassed, we blush. Or when we get angry, we feel hot and our body tenses up. So taking a moment to notice what physical sensations are felt now in your body as you picture in your mind this fear. What do you notice? Maybe it's a flutter in your belly, or a tightness in your throat or chest, or maybe it's an overall feeling of tension. Just breathing in and out as you do this. And it might be helpful, if it's a strong sensation, to breathe right into it. Imagining a golden or white light. It could be ping-ponging around your body, entering those places where there's sensitivity and making space. And this little shower of warm water, like a waterfall, gently flowing into that place of physical sensation. And when you pan out of this visualization, maybe imagining you're in a natural warm tide pool with this waterfall of warm energy floating over your entire body. Feeling it wash over the crown of your head, down over your hair to your ears, your neck, over your shoulders, down your front and back, and through your hips, streaming this sparkly energy through your arms and legs. And just stay here for a moment and soak this in. And now let's return to that fear and those physical sensations and notice what's happening with them. Have they moved or changed at all? Do they intensify or subside when you observe them in this way? And then go back to the scene in the water, breathing into this beautiful place, breathing out, soaking in the golden waterfall. And just notice how relaxed your body feels in this warm, radiant light. we may even notice that although we're concentrating on a fear, instead of allowing our minds to wander into automatic pilot, maybe into old stories from the past, or into catastrophizing, or into the future, we can view our fear from a lens of safety in this warm pool. And we may notice that how we relate to the fear and physical sensation creates our experience of it. Maybe there's less physical pain, and maybe not. That's not the point. What we're doing is allowing our fear to be here and meeting in it in the most loving and compassionate way that we can. Maybe now imagine yourself floating in the tepid tide pool and bringing this fear to mind once again, and maybe even more vividly than before. So picture what you're doing, who you're with, what your expression is, what your body language looks like. Are you looking intense or on guard? Or is your face soft and relaxed? Are you gripping your hands or tightening your shoulders? Or are you moving with ease, grace, and confidence? Just taking a moment to soften your breath as you take in this scene. And there's no right or wrong way to visualize yourself. You're just observing, floating in this natural pool in the forest, imagining your fear and observing yourself in this situation. So what do you see? Do you feel the sensations in your body? If so, just notice them. And maybe describe the qualities of them. Where they're located. What they feel like. Remember, they're allowed to be here because they're not dangerous. Just like flushing cheeks aren't dangerous when we receive an unexpected compliment. We can just notice this connection. In this case, fear. The fear thoughts that promote painful sensations. And when we come at the same fear from a safe and relaxed place, maybe the sensations change or subside, or move around or intensify. And we can observe this, getting curious about these physical sensations instead of contracting around them or making judgments or wanting them to stop, making black and white statements about them. And maybe then we open ourselves up to so many new interpretations. It's like fear in general. We can think of facing our fears like battling and slaying a dragon. Or we can think of them as inviting the dragon over for tea and sitting with it, even though it might be uncomfortable at first. But then maybe we understand better. And maybe we jump on and go for an incredible ride on the dragon's back. whatever our imagination invites in. So let's go back to the fear and physical sensations one last time. Just noticing again if anything has shifted or stayed the same. Or attending to this like watching a school play with ease and lightness. Just observing the characters, the set, the acting, not paying attention with any outcome or motive. Not paying attention to the physical sensations with intensity or hypervigilance. Just noticing how this fear scene feels in your body. And really cultivating a huge amount of self-compassion, watching this play out. It might be helpful to place a hand on your heart to give yourself an internal hug and so much support and love for all you're going through. Knowing that you can do this. You're strong and brave and resilient. And this is just one step to meeting your fears. But it's a gentle step. And you're in control of the experience. So let's let this fear scene fade out and just come back to the breath, letting it flow in and out in any way that feels good. And we'll all take 2 physiological sighs before we end and close this meditation. So let's take 2 sips of air in. 1 and 1 more. And let it all go in one long exhale. And one more time. 2 sips in. And just release it in a long sigh. The physiological sigh technique can come in handy anytime you want to emotionally regulate fast, either from a trigger or when you feel a little tipped off balance. So in this practice, if you didn't experience a shift or change or rejection of physical symptoms, then that's perfectly okay. These new neural pathways are not created in one sitting, one meditation. They happen with consistency and practice over time. And this technique is just one way to face your fears when they arise. You can also practice reframing thoughts, or taking a walk, or catching your fears, or talking them out with a mental health professional or someone you love. The practice here is just to be okay with your fears in a safe way, so you're not suppressing them or avoiding them or giving them fuel to intensify your pain. By meeting them with safety, we tell our brain that they're okay to be here. These fearful thoughts might just be trying to protect you. But you can let your primitive brain know that you're okay, that you don't need protecting, that there is no threat or danger here. And thank your primitive brain for its service, but that it can step aside because you're safe to observe and meet your fears in a whole new, loving and supportive way. So let's return to the breath one more time. Feeling it flow through your entire body. As the breath comes and goes, it connects your mind, heart, and body, making you whole. So take one final breath in. And on the exhale, opening your eyes and coming back to your space. Namaste.